everyone. Welcome to
Fika for Life.
My name is Edward Thomas, and my co-host is
Natasha Bedingfield. No, my name is Linh.
wish.
I was thinking, like,
Really, Natasha? Oh my gosh, you're here.
I was like, any other name? And then, like, why does that name? Whatever. Yeah.
I expect you to say Michelle Obama, but
No.
she's too tall.
No,
for
my
you.
name is Linh, and we are the host of Fika for Life.
Yes. So
And
this is the
today-
podcast that every now and then we talk about different things that you've written into us, and today we're going to answer one of our listeners' questions. Mm-hmm. We've done that a lot lately.
And if you felt it was difficult to digest all the sex episodes, this one is probably for you because you're probably single.
No, exactly. Yeah, if you couldn't stomach it, then we know why. So we'll go back to square one, talking to all the single people out there.
So the question was, is there the one and only? And if so, how do you know that a person is the one?
Well, depends on if we have a special guest today.
Yes.
Also to help us with this, because sometimes we need people who are educated in the mental health industry.
Department.
Yes, and so we have our good friend. What's your name?
Hi everyone, my name is Timmy.
You see that? If you guys remember,
Oh,
Timmy's been on our
yeah.
podcast before. And he has that sexy voice.
Oh
So,
my
and
gosh.
he's single, ladies. So, if you think that Timmy's the one, you let
He
us
could
know.
be your one.
Exactly. I think if I was a girl, I'd make Timmy my one.
Woo.
Wow.
I'm like, ooh, listen to that voice. I want that one.
So first question was, is there this person that you call the one? And then if so, how do you know that someone is the one?
Well, if you marry them, they're the one. That's pretty simple.
No.
Yeah. The wrong one is the right one if you marry them. Yes.
So you are saying there is the
There is
one.
no one. No.
No?
Nah, it's about like 500,000.
What is that?
What?
That are the one?
Yeah, there's like 500,000 ones. And so one of those 500,000 is probably for you.
Is all of them are the one for you.
Yeah, I mean, basically, the one for you is the one you pick. I mean, and I know it sounds like I'm always joking, but I'm really serious. Is that there is no one.
Yeah.
Every single combination with every single person on the planet will have its problems. You can't have two people together without problems, conflict, and misunderstanding, unless one of them is lying or suppressing their own feelings.
But I think what people mean with the one is who's the most compatible. Not the perfect, but most
Well,
compatible, I guess.
I think most people are picky. They're looking for perfect and forgetting that they're not. So that's-
We also talked about like being a 10 or being like wanting a 9, or you talked about that as well.
no, I was like, sure, I want a 10, but I'd take a 9, 8, 7, 6.
So you
5,
people who don't know what
3.
what that is.
I'll go down to -4, okay?
So we're talking
I'm
about
not
that
picky.
you can, or I don't know, some people like to categorize people into numbers. So 10 is like the most amazing, beautiful, perfect person you can imagine.
No, but actually, really,
And a
it should
0
be
is
a
no.
10 and then a backslash. Because we're talking about the outside is a 10, but the inside could be poop. So we need to have
What number is poop?
poop is like 0.
Okay.
Like, poop is a 1. poop is like a 0.5.
It's like 10 out of 0.
No, 10 out of 0. I was like what? Yeah, I mean, there's the outside, the inside, and then there's the overall score. So it's like gymnastics in the Olympics.
Okay, that got very
So you
complicated.
have, well, that's because you have to be a big Olympic fan to understand this.
I'm a big Olympic fan.
Are you really? You like
Yeah.
gymnastics?
Yeah.
Me too. I love gymnastics.
I was so sad when the Japan Olympics were delayed.
Are they canceled?
No, last year they were.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. I know.
When are they starting soon? Summer.
I hope so.
Oh my gosh. I remember it.
I want to
think,
go there and get COVID.
I don't
only-
think you can go there.
Only if I get to see gymnastics. So I
you
figured-
already had COVID.
I know, but I'm thinking
For
the
you.
tickets would be really cheap now.
No,
No, okay.
because they are going so seldomly. Maybe I don't know.
Oh,
Oh.
I would love to see I want to see gymnastics, and I want to see at the Summer Olympics, and then I want to see pair ice skating at the Winter Olympics. Oh my god!
Oh my gosh, you're such a.
I'd have like my stuffed animals to throw out there on the ice. And just like, oh my gosh, see me!
It's like those costumes, they're so
know.
beautiful.
I know. Oh my gosh! I'm like, oh.
Okay, we
Sorry.
are moving away from the
Yeah, we just got
topic.
distracted again.
Timmy,
I thought you
do
were
you
supposed to
believe
bring
in
some.
the one?
So for me, it is quite difficult to say there is the one. The word of the Lord says that he who finds a wife finds a good thing and finds favor in the sight of the Lord.
A wife.
A wife.
That means any old wife.
Not their wife.
Not the wife. But a
Out of
wife.
many wives.
That means the wife you got, that's the one.
Not necessarily-
Congratulations.
Yeah, exactly. Or
Or, sorry.
it's like going to the carnival and,
Yeah.
and you get like the little tickets and everything and you have the wind that goes
yeah,
around.
Oh, yeah.
And then like you got like 20 of them and you
So
still
you
don't
can-
win anything
But
and you
the-
feel like a big loser.
No, but they're always saying like, everyone is a winner. Go and get this ticket. Everyone is a winner.
Yeah.
Always
Everyone
do
is a
that.
winner.
And they give you a thumbtack. You get the thumbtack. Oh, well, thank you. I've always wanted to have a thumbtack. Instead of that big, fat, juicy octopus that's hanging up there, all plush with green eyes looking at me.
Yeah, you
I
never.
know.
No one ever wins those. I
My
don't
parents
know.
won
My son
a
used to
big,
win them all the time.
a big fat, I think, was it not teddy bear? I think an elephant or something. I could sleep in it. It was so gigantic
Oh, wow.
Oh.
when I was a
want
kid. Moving on. So the one.
Yeah, but I think the concept of the one was literally just created by maybe the church of just being like,
Are you
No.
sure? No, I think it's
No, it's not.
Hollywood.
It's Hollywood.
I think
Is
it's
it Hollywood?
Hollywood.
Yeah.
You should just think 100
But
years
maybe-
ago,
maybe-
no one was going around.
Listen,
Yeah,
Who's
but
the one?
in the
Who's the one?
1930s,
in the
there was a
Rome.
movie. And the movie was about a girl who lost her shoe at a party. And he, the prince, there's
Was
all
looking
these
for
other
the
women,
one.
and he can only find the one because her foot just happened to. I don't like what kind of size foot she must have had, or is it deformed or something? Because it's the only one that can fit into the shoe. But and then since those days, I mean, just think about like all the movies, you know. Officer
the one?
and a Gentleman.
yeah,
Remember
but
that one?
that
No.
circular ideas.
You
was
old.
literally
You never
brought
saw
to the
Officer
church.
and a Gentleman?
No.
Lord,
You've
lift
never
us
seen
up
that
where we belong.
Haven't you seen it?
Oh
I only
my
know
gosh.
this song.
Oh,
It's
you are
amazing.
so deprived. we're gonna have to educate you to
I
life
don't
in
need.
the 80s.
I don't need the education of the one because I have a husband already.
Is he your one?
Is he the one?
better
Apparently,
say yes.
according to your definition, whoever is married to me is the one.
Wow.
That's scary.
That means that you're his one. Oh wow. He
Poor
lucked
my
out.
husband.
I know.
No, but I remember we had girls group a couple of years ago. We were a bunch of girls, probably 10.
Wow.
And we were talking about that one girl, or I don't know, several girls or one girl, she was saying, you know, I'm already praying for my future husband. And then other girls were like, is it like predestined who you're going to marry? Or is the person you're marrying the one?
Wow.
We already had that conversation in the girls group.
And
Just
when-
saying.
And when you guys had that conversation, you know what the guys group was talking about? Hey,
I know.
how are you guys doing today?
That's not true.
Good.
That's
I don't
not-
think you were around then, were you?
No, you
What?
weren't there then when this group happened. But anyway, no,
The
and guys
group?
don't. And
Because
guys,
it changed when I.
guys
got
don't
the
know they don't. We never talk about the one.
You
No,
never?
We've never talked about it.
No.
Never pops up.
Guys, don't,
What are you guys talking about then?
we don't talk about the one.
We don't talk about the one.
You talk about all the ones that could be the one.
No.
No.
Guys don't usually sit around and go, okay, guys, let's talk about the girls that we can finally have in the future. What does your dream wife look like? And all the guys are like, well, and this is what okay, if guys did do that, you know what they
I
would
think
say?
guys are very basic. It's just like as long as she cooks and cleans.
No, they'd be like,
Loves me.
as long as she looks really good, she wants to have sex, and she makes food.
No.
Yeah.
You sell
Yeah.
your man very cheap.
Well, that's because men, I told you
Men
before,
don't
men,
have a higher threshold of.
Men are like
demand.
dogs.
Okay.
men are like dogs.
Men are not like dogs. Some
Yes,
of us
they-
have standards. They
Oh,
No, you don't. Some of you
Bill,
guys,
Bill.
are like, I don't care if it's a real dog or a fake dog. I still hump the dog. I don't mind. It's practice. Practice makes perfect.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
Wow.
So, okay, let's pretend there is the one, because the one
Okay.
is the one that you're going to marry.
Okay.
Whatever. How do you know they are the one?
You look at yourself. Okay, listen. God made you for a certain environment. And the closer you come to that environment, the more energy, the more health, both mentally, physically, and spiritually, that you'll get. And so the best thing, if you really want to find the one or who you're compatible with, learn. Get to know yourself. If you don't have any self-insight, if you don't really know enough about yourself, you don't have the capacity to actually be able to find someone to spend the rest of your life with. And you'll probably make a bad choice. Most people do because they don't have any self-insight.
That's very true.
Do you
because-
count yourself to those kind of people?
No, I'm perfect in everything I do. even when I fail perfectly. No, but I mean, for me, I was already married when I got into this whole thing with educating myself for relationships and being able to counsel relationships. So it was already too late. Sorry, honey. But but I think that that was one of the things that if I had known before I got married, if I had more self-insight about what I like, what I don't like, and how I really want to live my life. So I think that, and this is just a philosophy, but I think that if your life is already going in a certain direction, it's better to find people who are going in the same general direction, because it takes a lot less effort, a lot less work than trying to get someone to change their direction, which they should be going in order to go more in your direction.
What about
Or
people
vice
who
versa.
are pretty young and don't really have their
I
path
think
set
with
out?
some people they grow together. If you're that young, then you give yourself the opportunity to the way you structure your life. is quite
And it's just
influenced.
shaking his
Oh my
head.
gosh, how old are
Why?
you? You're so young. Oh my gosh.
No, it is. Some people grow together. There are some
Sure you
people
do.
that really grow
If
together.
you're lucky, you'll be able to grow together. But if you're destined to grow in different directions, you won't grow together.
How do you
That's a
how are
problem.
you distant? I mean, Jonas and me, we met when we were 17.
Yeah, I know.
Or I was 17, he was 20.
Oh, statutory.
I know.
I'm gonna call the police.
Socialstyrelsen.
Du är byxmyndig när du är 15.
No, but
Nej.
no.
Nej.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you are, but only to someone else who's under 18.
But how do you guys know that we had sex when we were 17?
Because you told me
we-
already that you did.
Have I?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
You just told me now.
Sorry. I don't have corona. I just have a cold. I tested negative.
Sure.
And those two in my room, they already had corona.
And if you don't hear from me anymore, you know
You
that
had COVID?
Yeah, in December.
Really?
Yeah, I was like ready to die. And
You
didn't
survived?
and you didn't even come and visit me. That's why I hate you so much.
Whatever.
I was laid up waiting,
didn't
like
know.
no one
Moving
came to
on.
my house. No one made food for
Moving
me.
on. Moving
You
on.
people are bad.
Moving on.
Okay.
Where
Anyway,
was
I don't
it?
know. We're like totally off track now.
No, we were talking about like when you're young, you
Growing
could
differently.
grow together or you
Oh.
grow in different directions.
Because so it's possible to have enough insight for where you are, because you always change. So the insight you have is where you're at now, but your basic personality is already established long before you come to the dating age. So you sort of have a basic personality that is kind of there all the time, and it becomes more nuanced or something like that with time, but it's kind of there all the time.
What do you mean by basic personality? Can you give an example?
Yeah. Okay. So a night person is always a night person, and a day person was a day person. It doesn't change. You could learn to wake up early if you're a night person,
But you will
you're
always be
You're always a
tired.
night person. You're just that's part of your natural thing. Or people who are, and you can see this like in small kids. So some kids are just really outgoing and friendly and talkative, and some just aren't, and they're never going to be that way.
And you can't make them because they're really uncomfortable.
Exactly. And so those are the kind of things that there's certain parts of our personality. There's certain things you will like or not like. There's certain, because God has created you for a certain type of environment or certain kind of thing or place. And the closer you are to that place, you're always going to gravitate there because that's where you feel best. That's where you get more energy. That's where you get more like, wow. And when you're further away from that place, you don't feel so good. So you tend to gravitate always in that direction. I mean, it's hard for you to believe, but I've always been really talkative.
Really? I thought you
Since I
were
was a
really
baby.
shy as a kid.
I know I know everyone thought that, but I've always been really talkative. No, but there's certain things that stick with you. So you'll meet people that you met back when you're in junior high school or high school, and there's this thing about them that you're like, oh, like it's still typical of them, even though you may not be able to define it exactly in detail. But it's something that you see in that person because that part is always there.
But
Yeah.
some people's character or just like personality, how they are, is sculpted by a lot of influences like family life or trauma
It is.
or something. So some people maybe never had the opportunity or that emancipation to literally practice out who they really are or express themselves. So then it's seen only when they get after marriage in some sense.
Really?
Or
That
maybe
sounds
in
like...
some relations. Some people are traumatized out here. Some people are
Yeah,
really
traumatized. But I mean...
Yeah, but trauma
if
doesn't
it's
take away your personality. What it does, it may inhibit you from
showing
doing things
all of
like,
the
well, no,
things.
it might inhibit you from like trying. It can inhibit you from like all of a sudden you define your world with so few aspects to it, and then you lock the door kind of. So you never give yourself a new chance. And that's what trauma can. But trauma can also be change. Also,
Exactly.
most people change, like real change in their life happens because of some kind of trauma or something super dramatic happens.
But I
and it
mean,
forces change.
this is like... Those are two different kind of situations
Yeah.
because we can talk about the people who have gone through extensive trauma and they need therapy, don't they?
Right.
And then we have people who... We all go through some kind of trauma, but let's say the people with minor trauma that you can overcome yourself.
Yeah. No, I mean we're talking. So we're not talking about people who need. I mean, because really, when you're talking about people who are in need of like psychological or psychiatric help, that's a whole different
area.
stuff
Thing,
like
yeah.
that. And what we're talking about really is this whole idea of self insight. So
Who
what
am I?
happens is that depending upon your primary family, you will start to know things about yourself. Some things you can't help. So like birth order.
Actually, it matters a lot.
Yeah.
And you know, like the most leaders in the world are firstborn. They're the oldest in their family. This is such a sick thing.
But you know, I have a friend in Germany. She wrote a paper about that.
Okay, really?
Birth
Oh,
order.
Okay.
Because she worked with small kids, and she said like the firstborns are usually the model child,
Yeah, the ones that get screwed over.
and the second ones usually become like doctors and lawyers and high-paying jobs because they need to like show off
Yeah.
with something else.
They have to be better than the older
And the
ones.
youngest usually do some kind of creative wiggy.
That's because they...
That's
No-
kind of similar
no
to
one
my
cares.
family.
But so things like birth order matter. Things like your basic personality. So when you do like the personality test and stuff like that,
So fun.
what I've noticed is that over the years, I've done these personality tests for at least 20 years. It's always
the
the
same.
same. I come up with the same answer all the time. Even though there's things that are different about me now, I don't exactly behave the same way. But because I think that's one of those evidences of there's a basic part of my personality that will not change. There's other parts of it. So part of your personality is
You
flexible.
can tweak.
and the other part isn't. And it's the part that isn't that you can get to know at a really, really early age.
But
Because-
is this a hopeful thing or is it a depressing thing?
No, this is a great
That's
thing.
a very good thing.
So the more you're used to self-analysis, self-insight, what that does, that helps you. And then you just have to be able to express that. So like, if there's, I don't know, I guess I can use myself.
But otherwise, for example, I have friends that have anger issues.
Yeah.
I mean, and if they now think, oh my gosh, there's something in my personality that is just part of me.
I
Isn't that
it just-
depressing? Like, I can't change that?
No,
you
you
can
can
ch- yeah, right.
you can still get you can choose to like go in that direction of being aggressive or not, or you can teach yourself the skills how to handle your temper or handle your anger. It's all about teaching yourself the skills to handle a situation or your triggers as well.
But then, because Ed said that there are some things in your personality that you can't change.
I'm going to give you an example. So there's a friend that we all know, but he's not here, so I can't use his name. But I've known him since he was like 14. And when he was
Wow.
14, he used to be really easily upset and really angry. What I've noticed is that through years, he still gets angry. He just doesn't get angry in a violent way.
Yeah.
So what happens is like when he sees injustice, he's like, no, we can't. People can't be treated that way. And he'll go there and he'll do something about it. So he still has the anger or that thing that gets him worked up. It's just it has a different focus. So there's things in his personality, or like he's always been a private person. He's still a really private person. And that's never going to change. But
To be private now.
No, but the way that he's private is different now
Yeah.
than it was when he was 14. And now he's like 30 something. And so
Who knows how old he is?
he's an old man. He's an old fart. And so I think that's one of the things is that there are certain things, like, so my best friend, Ray, him and I, we always joke together a lot. We tell a lot of jokes and stuff like that since the day we met each other. That was like 40 years ago. But the kind of jokes we tell now are not the kind of jokes we told back in high school.
To be sad.
Or he's always been really interested in cars, but the way he's interested in cars now
It's different than
is
that.
way different. But that's something that's always just followed, this sort of interest. He's very mechanical. He's always building stuff. I'm not.
You like a garden, so you both do
Yeah.
handy things.
Yeah, but he does, but when he does his garden stuff, he built a big shed. He like landscaped his yard. I'm like, why go through all that work? I just want to get vegetables. My place still looks like the jungle. I'm like,
Okay, so
Okay,
when
but then how does this pull together to getting
Okay.
the one?
yeah,
Okay,
I was
so-
about to
but-
say that.
So now we're talking about. Let's say we're talking about people who are over 25. So people who have
Your
done
frontal
high school,
cortex probably has finished growing.
Hopefully, I think some of them will be smoothed out mid but so let's say like you're over 25 and you don't have any like major psychological issues or anything like that. Maybe you've even done some school or work or something like that. So the first thing you should start asking yourself, what you should do is you should allow people to tell you the truth about yourself.
Ooh.
If you can't handle it, that's one of the signs you're not ready for a relationship. If you can't handle
People telling you
people
things you
telling
don't
you
want to
the
hear.
things about yourself that you may not necessarily connect to, then you're not really ready to. You can't find the one because you're blocking
to know
yourself.
who's the one.
You're blocking yourself from things that you should know about yourself. So you should ask people just, how is my basic personality? Do you feel like I'm a kind of boring person? Do I add anything to the conversation? Do I take over too much? Like those kind of things you ask people, and ask like a variety of people. Ask people like your family, people you work with, people who haven't known you that well, and people who've known you that well. And you sit down and sort of get a sort of general feeling. Where's the average at in that? Because that's probably closer to the truth than one group is going to relate differently than another group to you.
Yeah, like your family
Yeah.
probably have a different picture than the friends you just got to know last week.
And then the other thing is that because I believe that God fills us with potential far beyond what we have our experience for, so that don't be afraid to start trying new things. If you find out that you're a person who doesn't like to try new things, then that might be a sign that you need to get some help, because usually that's something that's pulling you back, because kids are naturally inquisitive. They always just
But
stick
you're
stuff
not
in
a
them.
kid.
No, but it starts there.
Yeah.
And if that's been fed positively, you're not afraid to try new things. But if it's been traumatic, or maybe you come from a family that don't do that, no.
Yeah,
And
like
so
it's
you
dangerous. It's dangerous.
some things you don't get a chance to develop in that family, and so you're in that particular area, you're underdeveloped. So that might be, and then challenge yourself
to
to actually sort of dream.
about
Man, will you stop putting all the questions on my mouth? Okay, to dream about what kind of life do you really want to live? So, because the life you want to live, you should find someone who wants to live that life with you.
It kind of sculpts your direction.
Yeah.
So you have an idea.
and then test it. So once you get that sort of dream thing going, when you test the idea, when you get the idea, you have to test the idea.
How?
So give me an example.
Your dream is to have you're leading a orphanage in South America.
Okay. So you say that's a thing in your life. That's going to be a thing. That's something you really want to work at. That's something we're talking about, things you really want to have in your life that are okay, passion for it and everything like that. Then the first question I would ask you, we always go over time. Then the first question I would ask you then is that is, so what have you done to make this possible?
To make this dream come true.
Because sometimes we have things that we think that we want, but we never do anything about it, and they're probably not for real.
It's just a dream.
Because
then.
there's a sort of the idea of something. Like I say, okay, I want to lose weight this year,
but I still eat all my
118 kilos, and now I'm saying by the summertime I want to have a 6-pack. Okay, so
you better be on a crash diet.
But if I haven't done anything all year long to exercise or anything, then it's an idea, but it's not really something that's anchored in me. It's not really a part of me.
No.
It's just something that seems like, oh, it would be nice if I could, of course, but I'm not putting any effort in anything to it. And that's one of the sort of signs. If I want to, a person says, oh, I want to be with someone who really likes art, but I know nothing about art. I never go to an art museum. I haven't bought art. I don't know. I couldn't tell you a Picasso from a Chagall. Then
this reminds me of a very traumatic experience.
Oh, now we're coming to something. We got to do a part 2 now because now we have to know what Timmy's dirt is.
Oh no! I went on a date and it's just something that happened that I was like,
we can have next episode about something like dating, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But I mean, but so you understand, like there's a difference. Like I don't like people who smoke. So I dated a girl who was really into her, but she smoked.
Man.
And I said,
I can't do this.
Listen, kissing you is like kissing a butthole. So
how do you know how a butthole tastes?
Because I kissed her.
Yeah.
No, but because she smoked and it was really horrible. I was like, ugh. And I said, listen, I really like you, but I really don't want to be with a smoker. And I don't want to kiss someone who smokes because I really think it's disgusting. And so if you really are really that into me, here's your chance to make a decision.
And she's like,
no.
And she said,
bye, Felicia.
Yes, she said, no. She said, okay. And she actually, the whole time we dated, she stopped smoking. And when we broke up, she went back to smoking.
Wow, but then she wasn't really.
No, exactly. She wasn't real. And I was so happy because I was like, ooh, because if she had done that, I would have seen her. But I mean, but that's something that I really wanted that. And I was willing to do something about it and even be willing to lose something, a relationship with someone I was really into because I didn't want to be with a smoker. That was important enough for me to do something. That's one of those things that gives you insight. I know I don't want to be with a smoker. Any person who smokes is automatically not necessarily someone I'm interested in.
Come what may.
Yeah.
Everyone, thank you for listening to our... It was difficult, this one, because we don't really believe in the soul, the one idea.
The soulmate.
So
we think that people are stupid. No, we don't. There's not enough evidence for it. It seems really weird, and it just causes a lot of heartache and problems, and it gives us too much counseling.
So
creates expectations.
Our advice is don't buy into this narrative of the one. The one you end up with is the one.
Yes.
No, I still also don't believe that.
No, but you listen. If you make wise decisions, if you have insight, if you get to know yourself, you really can make a really good decision. Mm-hmm. Most people just make bad decisions based on poor information because they don't know themselves. And then they cry about it later on when they finally discover themselves.
But that's why you should go and get to know yourselves. We want to add on a positive note.
Oh, yeah. And if you need help with this and you want an analysis done, it doesn't cost that much. We do it for about 250 Swedish crowns.
No, we don't.
No,
yes, we do.
No.
Yes, we do.
No.
Yes, we do.
No, please.
Anyway.
Okay, I'll do it. 250 Swedish crowns.
No.
It takes about 45 minutes, and I will help you to have insight about yourself.
Yeah.
And that's per session. So,
Thank you guys for listening, and tune in again
to
Fika for Life. Thank you for listening. If you have any comments or ideas, please send us a message to fikaforlife@mail.com. Fika, F-I-K-A. This was the Fika for Life podcast with Linh and Edward Thomas, and we hope to hear you again.